Hello, Charlie TCG here, and welcome back to another deck profile for post-rotation. Today, let's look at Rapid Strike, and is it as strong as Single Strike is right now in post-rotation? So it is doing pretty well in Japan. Roughly about 2% of the meta for all the top 8 percentages have been this Rapid Strike box, except weirdly last week it kind of dipped away and got replaced by Arceus Duraludon. So it is doing well. It has won a few, done pretty well, like top fours, top eights. The whole synergy is using the Octillery line to try and get the Pokemon you might need, Inteleon VMAX to do some sniping with discarding the Water Energy, and Urshifu to be a big clearing attack. It's very good by putting so much pressure with doing bench damage and sniping, but it is incredibly vulnerable to Mew, with Urshifu being weak to it and giving up 3 prizes. Mew can win in as easy as 2 turns. But with all that being said, let's have a little nosy at the list. So as you can see, it's very much different to how some Urshifu lists have been before. We do run a 3-3 line of Inteleon. You want that highest possibility to attack with the sniping and potentially do some damage with it. But the sniping doing, I think, 30 damage is really, really powerful. 2-2 line of Urshifu is an incredibly strong card and doing really well, especially with seeing how powerful decks like Miraidon are, and some decks that rely a lot on Manaphy. Is really good to kind of like pressure, like if they don't have a Manaphy, this is really, really strong. 2-2 line of Octillery. Octillery is really good, especially with that Rapid Strike search. Getting any Rapid Strike card you might need, whether it be that Medicham to do some, to get that extra turn which you might need, or potentially that Rapid Strike energy. It's a really good way to let's kind of get the Pokemon you might need, or any of these cards, which could be really helpful. Like I said, this is a very, very weak deck to Mew, so we run 2 copies of Drapion. This won't be used, you can't really, you can technically power it up with the water energies and Melanies, but it's just going to take too long, so it can't really go into like decks like Gardevoir, but it is still just as strong. And then support, we have 1 Lumineon and 1 Alakazam. Alakazam just to rearrange some of the bench damage from your side and the opponent's side. It's just really good just to get some cheeky KOs that way. Item cards, very much a lot of one-offs because we play Irida, which Irida can get any water Pokemon we might need, whether it be that Lumineon or the Octillery or Inteleon line, and any item card. Now, because of post-rotation, Forest Steel Stone is a tool card, not an item card anymore. So always bear in mind that when you play Irida, because you can't just go Irida to get Forest Steel Stone to get anything, but you can get Octillery, which is nearly the same thing in this sort of style deck. We do run 1 Battle VIP pass, kind of so you can get that. So you get Irida if you're going second, Irida, Battle VIP pass, plus Inteleon or Remoraid. It's really, really strong and powerful. Other item cards, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Nest Ball, to guarantee some search stuff, as well as 2 End Retrievals, because you want to try and get as many Inteleon pings out as possible. It's not like you've got to do it, excuse me, every single turn, but it's really strong, especially when it works out. Supported, like I said, is very much random. We do play a boss, Cheryl, because these are very high HP evolved Pokemon, and Cheryl can immediately heal everything but discard all the energies. Hence why we run Melanie, so we can reuse those energies as well. Roxanne, especially because you need to have options for disrupting the opponent. And we play 3 Research because it's the best draw supporter in the game. Like I said, Forest Steel Stone, we do run 2 of. Remember not to play Irida to grab it. But Forest Steel Stone is just incredible. With no access to a V-Star power, having the power to get any card you might need is really strong. If you need that 1 water energy, or potentially you have the Medicham as prize, you can grab that Heavy Ball. Tower of Water is our stadium of choice, giving pretty much every single Pokemon except Lumineon free retreat. It's something which you really need, especially if you can go through all of your decks. Oh, sorry, and Alakazam. And item and energies, we play 7 waters, because we're mainly going to be using the waters if we need to use Melanie or sniping, and then Rapid Strike Energy is the main energy of choice to really use those damage and attack with Urshifu and Medicham. So the idea really is doing lots of bench snipe, which can set up with Medicham, and Urshifu is really good to do those big KOs with Gale Thrust, as well as its other attack, Max. I've honestly forgotten its name, it's blank to me, to do some bench damage if they don't have a Manaphy out. So matchup-wise, like I said, some of the positive is Arceus, because you hit for weakness, and Miraidon as well. I know it's kind of like silly, like, oh, because you hit for weakness, it's a really good matchup. The answer is yes, because Arceus can kind of be a bit slow at times and not putting them loads of pressure, because Psychic, hitting for Psychic weakness isn't very, not saying it's very cool right now, it's not really on everyone's radar. So Arceus can kind of fall by the wayside when you have Urshifu hitting for weakness. Same thing with Miraidon. They have Regieleki VMAXs. Urshifu can one-hit KO them, I believe, and get 3 prizes, which is really strong. And Lost Zone Box, I do think it could potentially be a bit positive because you have such a high HP. Nothing they're playing is Psychic attack to get those big KOs. Inteleon may fall under the wayside because I believe it is Lightning weak, so something to bear in mind of. And you can get, if they don't have Manaphy's out, or if you just carry on keep attacking the Manaphy's and they don't really recycle it with Clara, you can really punish them by getting loads of prizes through sniping as well as doing damage to them with Urshifu's attack. Like I said, its negatives can be a bit tricky. Lugia, because Lugia can, Tyranitar can get one-hit KOs. You can't really one-hit KO most of them back. Lugia has resistance, so that's really kind of a bit of a problem. Mew, like I've said so much, you play 2 Drapions and you hope that that's going to help in the matchup, but sometimes 2 Drapions isn't enough because Mew can just put the pressure on as well. Tina as well. Tina can use 1 prizes as well as the main Tina. It doesn't one-hit KO only with its GX V-Star attack, but that's something you still consider out because you can play 1 Cheryl and you play Power Pad, so that's like 2 Cheryls. So you can do that, but they're still going to do loads of pressure, maybe going for the bench stuff because you don't play Manaphy. So something you always need to be aware of. As well as Gardevoir, it's technically a negative because it can get these big KOs. It does play, most of them have gone down to a Zacian with the Sky Steel Stone. So you can get those full price KOs because it hits for weakness. So that's something you need to consider about. Is it's really fun to play, but you've really got to consider that some of the big weaknesses like Lugia, Mew, and Giratina, if you have a bad matchup to that, you really need to consider them if it's the right one. But with that being said, it's still a really fun deck to see, and I'm loving some creativity that Rapid Strike is starting to evolve, going back to, instead of having Inteleon line, going back to more of a big package with another Inteleon VMAX instead, and the Urshifu. So yeah, let me know what you think of this list. Is this something you might be trying out in post-rotation, or is this something which you just want to have on the radar so when you go to a tournament, you're ready and you understand how this deck could potentially work? If you're new, consider leaving me a like and subscribe. Really means a lot to me, and I'm loving how much you are enjoying the content that I'm creating. So my name is Charlie TCG, and I will see you guys soon.